The AP has seen fit to agree with me as their number one and number two look like my top 25 at foxsports.com. Let's talk about some other things that I agree with and some others that I don't. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that the two best teams in college football are both in the Big Ten, just like the last two national champions? Because I do, and so does the AP. Let's talk about the Week 6 AP Top 25, starting at number 1, Ohio State 4-0. They're giving up 5.5 points per game. They've given up 9 points or fewer in all 4 games that they played. They are outstanding on defense with Matt Patricia calling the plays, and they are crushing people. I mean, it's a sledgehammer on a cricket right now for Ohio State's defense, and that's one of the reasons that they are the number 1 team in the country. Number 2, Oregon, who has what I think is maybe the best win in college football so far, given that they went on the road to Penn State to face the AP's number 3 team. And the AP, which has 60 voters, which are encouraged to rank teams based on head-to-head results, took that into account with the overtime win for Oregon against James Franklin, who drops to 4-21 against top 10 opponents. Number 3, Miami, who dropped, even though they were idle, but that's because Oregon beat Penn State, but they have an opportunity to continue to keep that. They get Florida State here in a little bit, and we get to find out just how good or bad that team actually is. Florida State, that is. Ole Miss moves up to number 4 on the strength of beating the number 4 team in the country in LSU. That was a great win for them. They move up 9 spots. Trinidad Chambliss has been outstanding. 1,219 yards, 7 TDs, just 1 pick in 3 starts. He is in the Heisman Trophy conversation. Oklahoma moves up 2 spots to number 5, despite being idle this week, and the news that John Mateer is going to miss this week against Kent State with a hand injury he's recovering from, but there is optimism that he could play for in OU Texas after the bye week. So that's another 2 weeks that he has to heal up, get his hand right. It's his throwing hand. We'll see. I think you should be encouraged about this if you're Oklahoma, in that he broke his hand on the first pass play from scrimmage against Auburn, and he played the whole game, went for 271 in that game, 14-16 in the second half. Number 6, Texas A&M moves up to number 6 on the strength of beating Auburn. They gave up absolutely nothing, 0, 176 total yards, and 0 for 12 on third down. That's what Auburn was against Mike Elko's defense, not too shabby. Marcel Rigo for 207. Kevin Concepcion had 113 yards receiving. Penn State drops 4 spots to number 7 after losing to what is the number 2 team in the country for me, and what I always thought was the number 2 team in the country. And they don't really move for me. I had them about this 8 range. That's about where Penn State's going to live for me. I put them there because they've been able to beat 4 top 10 teams, but they've lost to the 21 others. So they're going to beat the teams they're supposed to, and the teams that are actually in their weight class, they just can't seem to get past. Number 8, Indiana moves up 3 spots, even though they got scared by Iowa on the road. Fernando Mendoza threw his first interception of the season. It's going to happen. They still got the win. It was challenging. They got tested. Mark Gronowski went out late in the game, early fourth quarter for Iowa. Had he stayed in the game and not have to go to Max Brown, maybe they're able to pull out a win. But Elijah Surratt still played outstanding football, and he's the reason that they won that game. Texas is at number 9 on the strength of, we just don't know. Alabama is at number 10 after beating Georgia. I think that's about where they should be. They move up 7 spots after beating the number 5 team in the country on the road. Kalen DeBoer, 9-4 last year, losing to unranked opponents, but also is 2-0 against Kirby Smart in Georgia, and went into Sanford and did something nobody's been able to do since October 12, 2019, and that's get a win. So that's 33 straight games that Georgia had beaten anybody that walked into that stadium. And Alabama, Ty Simpson, Ryan Williams jump in there, and they're 2 for 2. Texas Tech moves up 1 spot to number 11 off of being idle. This is one of the best teams in the Big 12. They have a really great chance to make the college football playoff. They keep doing what they're doing. It's going to be interesting to find out if Will Hammond or Baron Morton ends up being your starting quarterback. Will Hammond looks like the better player there, but it's a champagne problem right now. Both those quarterbacks are good when they're healthy. Georgia falls 7 spots to number 12. It's been a long time since we talked about Georgia not being in the top 10 after the strength of losing to this number 17 at the time, Alabama. They got a really good win against Tennessee, but Tennessee also struggled against Mississippi State. LSU drops to 13 off of losing to Ole Miss, 4-1 for them. 5-0 Iowa. They stand pat, even though they got a pretty damn decent win last night against Arizona. Also one of the better teams in the Big 12. Tennessee stands pat after needing overtime to beat what was a 4-0 Mississippi State. This is not last year's Mississippi State. It's a better football team. Tennessee was just a more talented team at the end there. Vanderbilt is up 2 spots, 5-0 for the first time since 2008. They get Alabama later this week. That ought to be really great. I never thought that a marquee matchup for a week 6 might be Alabama versus Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia are 1-0 against Bama, and maybe they'll be able to do to Bama what Bama did to Georgia, because that's how it worked last year. Georgia Tech down a spot to 17. They're 5-0, but they needed overtime to beat a winless Wake Forest. Not how you want to draw it up. 30-29 still a win. I still think they're pretty good, though, because undefeated teams need to win their clunkers. They're not going to beat everybody up going away. Florida State drops 10 spots out of losing to Virginia last Friday night. Virginia, who is now 3-1 or 4-1, excuse me. They had the 1 4-point loss to North Carolina State. Of course, Florida State had beaten that Bama team that beat Georgia. Still a top 25 team, and that'll be a top 25 matchup with Miami. Missouri up a spot to 5-0, to 19 at 5-0. They beat UMass. We don't care. Michigan is down a spot to 20 off of being idle this week. Notre Dame is up 1 spot off of getting Sam Pittman fired on Saturday. 56-13 win against Arkansas was the coffin nail for him as head coach. Illinois, 4-1. They got a great win against USC. Needed to come back. David Alano kicks a 41-yard winner to give them their first win against SC since 1989. BYU is up 2 spots off of coming back from a 14-0 deficit to beat Colorado. Bear Bachmeier was outstanding running the football. Virginia is in the top 25 after beating Florida State at number 24, and Arizona State is at number 25 off of beating an previously undefeated and ranked Texas Christian. Their only losses to Mississippi State. Others receiving votes include South Florida with 53, Utah at 52, Mississippi State at 46, Memphis at 38, Louisville at 36, Southern Cal, USC at 22, Maryland at 7, North Texas at 7, TCU at 6, and UNLV at 3. On the whole, I don't really have any problems with this. I think Memphis is a really good football team. I think it's going to be the Group of 5 representative when it comes down to it. They're outstanding. They've been beating people like they stole something. So that might be where I quibble with Virginia there, whose best win is against a Florida State team that, went on the road and played like they've been on the road. They needed overtime to beat them. I don't know that they can keep that up. BYU makes it back in there after that defense shows up. LJ Martin is great. I'm okay with that. I think the Missouri thing here is it's gonna come to a head sooner rather than later. Remember, Ahmad Hardy has rushed for at least 100 yards in 7 consecutive games dating back to last season, and he can be a load the rest of the way. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Do we think Penn State should have fallen this far? Do we think Georgia should have fallen this far? Let me know in the comments below.